Hi, Sydney.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
I'm well.
All right. Hey everyone. We have several people, we have 5 people on the members meeting, and we have here 2 board members, Dave Wegman and myself, Valerie Anderson, and Kim Bukite, who is not a board member. Hi, Kim. And Sydney Bingham, who is our attorney in Tallahassee, and Mary Nessler was on the ballot for this year. As a director at large, but she is not visible right now. She's having some tech issues. So I figured we could introduce ourselves. Dave, would you like to start?
I'm Dave Wegman. Been involved with Valerie since the beginning, since 2017, I believe it was when we started all this.
Yeah, 2017. And I'm Valerie Anderson, president. So Dave is vice president, and I'm president, Friends of Split Oak Forest. And you may know both of us from the Facebook group or from the emails. And then Kim, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Kim Bukite, and I first got involved with Friends of Split Oak going on 4 years ago. When I checked my calendar, I was actually quite shocked. And I'm a land surveyor and a volunteer for Friends of Split Oak. And I wrote some of the first legal descriptions for the first conservation easements that were put on Split Oak in the 1990s. So I got quite disturbed when I found out that a road was being planned to go through a property that was supposed to be protected in perpetuity, which means forever. So that's kind of what got my blood boiling, and I've become a loyal volunteer ever since.
Thanks, Kim. Sid?
Yes, I'm Sid Bigham. I'm an attorney in Tallahassee. I've been practicing around 10 years, a little bit more. Started out with a private firm, joined the Department of Environmental Protection's litigation unit shortly thereafter, where I did enforcement, defense, contracts, rulemaking, kind of everything under the sun, matters involving sovereign lands, and went to a private practice boutique firm where I continued to do environmental and land use law and litigation until February of this year, during which I joined Berger Singerman and have continued my practice in land use and environmental law. I was honored to be invited to join the fight in this matter in early September or late September, maybe early October. We started, and I'm looking forward to giving a legal update to those in attendance.
And so it looks like Mary's trying to make it. Mary, can you hear us? No. Well, Kim, I mean, you've worked the most with Mary, so I wondered if you might want to give a little history.
Sure, I'll talk up Mary anytime. So Mary Nessler has become a good friend, and I think she started hiking around with Dave, and when Dave was organizing was it the weekly hikes or the monthly hikes? And Mary's gotten very familiar with the property and fell in love with it. And she's an artist, a professional artist that's now retired from her jobs, where she impressed me with her resume of working on Halloween Horror Nights and other very commercial artistic endeavors in the local scene. And Mary and I have become close in working on Gopher Tortoise Day, and she's prepared various different activities and educational, I don't know, just helping people understand the Gopher Tortoise issues at Split Oak through art and through the hikes and through observing the gopher tortoise burrows on site. And it's just been a joy to work with Mary, and I'm really glad that she was elected, but even more so that she stepped up in willingness to serve in this capacity on the board now. So great job, Mary. Thank you.
You, Mary. So I'm going to pull the results, guys, over your faces. So we have 47 eligible voting members this year, including several joining today in response to the email. So thank you, everyone. So we had 13 people vote. I forgot to vote, so I'm not represented in here, but we got 100% for everybody. So welcome to the board, Mary. Yay. Okay. So we still have some open positions on the Friends of Split Oak Forest board, and board members don't have to be elected by the public, so they don't have to be elected by our membership, but they can be. The board can just vote to elect people. So we have the open positions of treasurer and now 4 directors at large. So if you're interested in serving on our board, you can consider joining us. Just let me know. Or Dave, or Gretchen, who is not here. Dave, who is very occupied by a beautiful cat. Who's that, Dave?
It was POTUS tail.
Okay. What do we have next? So, oh, there's Mary's face. Everybody can see beautiful Mary. All right. She probably still can't hear us. Okay. So, legal update. What has been going on? So, you might have seen that, not a lot of activity other than the Fall Bio Blitz, and that's sort of intentional on my part. I mean, I have a life, and you guys have lives, so I've been trying not to just make work for any of us. So, if you guys remember, back in November of 2020, we had a charter amendment pass in Orange County, right? So that was a big deal. I asked you guys to come to meetings. Everybody showed up. Thank you, everyone, for public speaking. It was really wonderful. And that did pass with 86% of the vote. And so that charter amendment states that the Orange County Board of County Commissioners cannot sign anything that diminishes split oak forest protection. So that's really great. Unfortunately, before the election in November of 2020, Osceola County sued Orange County and tried to get that taken off of the ballot on some really silly, they filed an injunction, right? And they didn't get it. So basically that has been churning for, 2 years now, right? So it's 2021? No, 1 year. 1 year. A year and a month. So basically they've been just sort of back and forth, and then you may have seen some news articles happen. I think it was covered in the Osceola News Gazette where Osceola County successfully got the Charter Review Commission dismissed from the case. So basically they had a really good attorney, Cliff Shepard, defending the Charter Review Commission, and Osceola County did get that entity dismissed. So now it's only left to Orange County to defend the charter amendment in court. And so Cliff had a motion for summary judgment prepared to file before they got dismissed, but he didn't get to file that. So unfortunately, Orange County is not quite as vigorously defending their charter amendment. But it's still okay. They're still doing an okay job. So back in late 2020, a motion to dismiss was filed. Anyways, here we go. You can see motion to dismiss filed back in 2020, and then there's another motion to dismiss filed 12/14 in response to Osceola County saying Osceola County added a bunch of we've talked to FCT. Here, I'm gonna show that. I'm showing everybody this. Basically, they filed a bunch of exhibits. So that's their lawyer, Todd Norman, Benjamin Burleson. And they filed all
I don't
this.
think we're seeing that, Val. Whatever you're showing, I don't think we're seeing it.
You guys can't see it. So
Okay.
what I'm doing is I'm streaming my screen. So you guys
I got
can't, I can't share my screen and show you guys at the same time. Sorry.
Okay, just want to make
Can
sure.
you hear me?
Oh,
Yay!
Can you hear
Yes.
me? Oh,
There's Mary.
all right, everybody. Here's Mary.
hello.
Hey.
I feel this is my first time. We should have practiced. I should have practiced.
All right, good. Well, you're on now. And I'll just wrap this up real quick. So basically, Osceola County filed this. Hey, look, we did a PD&E study. Look at how great our PD&E study was. Hey, look, we talked to FCT staff. It was just like, you know, a really long thing, talking about how much background work they'd done. And then in response to that, Orange County still said, yeah, sorry, we still want this dismissed. So there's a hearing on January 20th. It's a virtual hearing. I have posted an event on Facebook with that Zoom link so that you can attend if you like. We are interveners in that case. So basically we're, you know, cheerleaders from the sidelines. Yes. And so that's happening in January. And so now that we're talking about legal stuff, Sid, are you ready? Would you like to hop in?
Yes, thanks so much, Valerie. And I would just like to say, it's an honor to be a part of this really important fight, and it's a statewide fight. Even though this involves a local piece of land, this is emblematic and representative of issues that occur with conservation easements around the state of Florida. And one of the most critical issues that it raises is the question of Article 10, Section 18 of the Florida Constitution, which requires that local governments who own conservation land not only be restricted in their disposition of that land to having a 2/3 vote to dispose of it, but they also have to make an independent determination that the land is no longer needed for conservation purposes. And that has not happened here. Where we are procedurally, and this is again, aside from the Orange and Osceola County lawsuit, where we are procedurally is those two counties have applied to the Florida Communities Trust to modify their grant. And that grant is recorded in the deeds, and that grant applies perpetual conservation easements and perpetual conservation protections over the natural resources of the Split Oak Forest. That application is expected to be considered and heard by the Florida Communities Trust on February 16th of 2022 at 10 a.m. That's available both via webcast and in person at the Florida Department of Environmental Protection in Tallahassee at the Douglas Building. I will be there, of course, advocating our position that not only would this proposal be unconstitutional in violation of Article 10, Section 18 of the Florida Constitution, but also that the application is procedurally and substantively deficient for multiple reasons. We have made great progress in developing those arguments. We'll be preparing letters to send on behalf of the Friends of the Split Oak Forest to the governor's office, as well as to the regulators, including leadership at the Department of Environmental Protection, leadership at Florida Communities Trust, leadership at FWC and other interested entities. But also we are planning to put together a press conference in January with the help of several individuals who, including Dick Batchelor, who have generously offered their time. It's critically important that anybody seeing this presentation visit the Split Oak Forest website to learn more about the issues that are facing this conservation land, and to understand really that these issues are issues that threaten conservation land around the state of Florida. If developers are able to line their pockets on the backs of taxpayers whose money was expended for conservation land and mitigation purposes, and whose local governments have benefited from conservation credits for the land supposedly set aside in perpetuity for conservation purposes, then there is truly no natural resource safe in the state of Florida. This land is about as protected as it can get legally. And it is our job to stand up to the Florida Communities Trust and to collaboratively with them, help them understand what is at stake here and to help them understand their duties. The more voices we can get at the Florida Communities Trust on this issue on February 16th, the better. The more folks we can get to visit the website and to contribute to our efforts, the better. And if we are unable to stop it at the Florida Communities Trust level, we will have a case that will be of first impression in the state of Florida, a case construing Article 10, Section 18 of the Florida Constitution. It is our hope that we will be able to put a stop to this nonsense ahead of time. There are many other issues and nuances associated with this application that we would be happy to share and discuss with our collaborators, but we definitely need coalition building and consensus building. So we ask that the members of the public, representatives of other like-minded organizations, and we've already worked with the League of Conservation Voters, League of Women Voters, both Orange County and statewide, ask that you join forces with us as well as other groups to participate in this critical effort. I am very pleased with the progress we've made so far, and I'm cautiously optimistic that our efforts and our diligence, including those of Kim Buchheit and Valerie Anderson, both of whom should be applauded and appreciated by everybody who cares about the split oak forest, for championing this issue. We appreciate your efforts and ask that you redouble them in this critical time, because this truly is a turning point. If we can stop this matter in February, we will have won a great victory for conservation lands in the state of Florida. Be happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Ed. Q&A time, anybody? So just to clarify, if everybody remembers, we had this really hellacious time back in December of 2019, where basically CFX, Osceola County, Orange County all approved this really bad thing, this application to the Florida Communities Trust to modify the agreements, the main protective agreement protecting split oak forest, which is this grant award agreement. So that has not actually ever made it to the board. So we, December 2019 to now, it has just been has not been considered by the Florida Communities Trust Board, and now it's being considered, and we really would like them to reject it. So the goal here is we have this backstop of the Orange County Charter Amendment. It's a fantastic backstop, right? But Osceola County doesn't seem to think that it's any reason for them to stop. They're not demoralized by this, by 86% of the Orange County voters. They don't seem to care. They would really like for this to get run right through FCT. And so, in my opinion, that's a pretty good reason to try and stop it at Florida Communities Trust. So, no questions in the chat yet, just a lot of kudos. Junior says that she has a hike scheduled on December 29th at 8 a.m. So I will put that in our upcoming events thing.
Could you repeat that, please?
Junior says December 29th, 8 a.m.
Okay, great.
Okay, lots of kudos still and no questions. Dave, Kim, Mary, any questions for Sid?
I have more of a comment than a question, and it's really kind of a logistics thing. I think that it would be a good idea for us to maybe create some sort of a sign-up sheet for those of us that might be interested in traveling to Tallahassee for the meeting live. It starts at 10 in the morning. So to avoid having to get up at some crazy hour it's probably a good idea to be in Tallahassee the night before and stay in a hotel. So anybody that would like to either carpool or make plans to get up to Tallahassee together, we should probably, start some sort of a sign up for that. And we did attend the most recent meeting, just last week or the week before. And it is much easier to communicate live in person there. They had difficulty with the technology, with the remote access to the meeting. So if you do want to speak up and be heard and participate, Tallahassee's kind of nice in February. So I think it would be a good experience. It would be a good opportunity for people to see how government really works. I mean, this is where the rubber meets the road, is us speaking up to the decision makers, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, Kim,
I would just add to.
Go ahead, Sid. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Valerie. I would just add to Kim's comment. Absolutely, if you can be there in person, be there. But if your only option is to attend remotely, and you would like to, please attempt to do so, and please document your attempt to do so. If you're somehow precluded from having your time or from having your opportunity to present what you would like to say, please notify Valerie, Kim, Dave, myself, anybody on the board, and let us know, because that could be important as well. Whatever you can do to attend will be appreciated, whether it's remote or in person.
Yeah, so I was gonna maybe get like a VRBO or something. I don't know about like a big bus or anything, so maybe we should all just carpool as with existing vehicles. But I have a list of you people who I really think are good speakers, and so I'll be contacting you in the near future about that. So if you have spoken before, you're on my list, so expect a cold call about that. Oh yes, we have 2 questions. So does the meeting in Tallahassee take input from people? Yes, there will be public comment. Now they could cut it short, like Mayor Demings did. 1 minute in heaven is better than 2 minutes in heaven.
Would add to that we've been told that the standard is 3 minutes at the state level. They're going to accommodate the Friends of the Split Oak Forest for my presentation, because they know it's going to take more time than that. But in any case, anyone who wants to speak either in person or via webcast or even by phone is able to do so. But it's important to pre-register about a week in advance of the February 16th meeting. And if you have any issues or questions about how to pre-register, please contact Valerie or Kim or myself, and we'll be happy to help you.
Yes, we'll walk you all through that, and we'll have like a brief so that you can prepare your comments ahead of time. Yeah, so don't be like, oh, I don't know what to say. Like, no, we will walk you through it, and you can, express your personal feelings while under a framework of, what needs to be said at this meeting.
We'll also be publicizing a letter that will be sent by the Friends of the Split Oak Forest, as well as a shorter version that will be sent out by the Friends of the Split Oak Forest. So you'll be able to see the position of the organization in advance. And we're all available to talk with you about any details about that position once those letters are released. If there are no other questions for me, I'm going to go ahead and go on mute and let you all proceed with your business, but I will be listening in. So if further questions arise, please speak up, and I'll be happy to jump back on and address those. Thanks, Valerie, Kim,
Yes.
Dave, and Mary. Congratulations for joining the fight.
Thank you.
Okay, so you guys have heard, we have, if you'd like to volunteer, we need board members, and then upcoming events. We have 2 events that we would like to sort of organize ad hoc committees around. I am putting over you guys, Kim and Dave and Mary, I'm putting over you this upcoming events flyer slide. We have a hike December 29th at 8 a.m. with Junior, starting at the main entrance. We'll get that on Facebook as soon as possible. This Osceola v. Orange hearing, you can find that on our Facebook page. the link to that. The Florida Community Trust Board meeting in February. In there in January sometime we'll have that big press conference in Orange County. Go for Tortoise Day, April 9th. Kim, would you like to talk about Go for Tortoise Day?
Sure. So many of you may know already that we've had some great events on Go for Tortoise Day over the past few years, 3 years. We've done 2 events, and it's getting to be our signature event, since Gopher tortoises were the reason why Split Oak was put into conservation. And we're hoping that the gopher tortoise population is going to be very important to our arguments with the wildlife protections that Split Oak affords. So Gopher Tortoise Day is an annual event. The actual date is April 10th, which falls on a Sunday. So we're going to have Gopher Tortoise Day at Split Oak Forest on Saturday, April 9th, because we think it's a better day. But Saturday, April 9th will be Gopher Tortoise Day. And we're going to do something similar activities to what we've done in previous years. We'll have hikes and educational materials and little swag handouts. And Megan Sorbo, who has been working at the Avian Reconditioning Center in Apopka, has worked out to have some of the birds be special guests to celebrate with their reptile friends, the gopher tortoises. And so we'll need a few volunteers for that. The setup's going to be fairly simple. We'll have tents and things out by the entrance. Anybody who's interested in that, at some point I'll put out more information about organization and volunteering, but just kind of be on the lookout for that if you're interested in learning more about gopher tortoises. It's a great opportunity. And also, I just recently accepted a position on Gopher Tortoise Council as co-chair of the Education and Outreach Committee. So I think we'll have a little bit more networking going on with the foremost organization that's protecting gopher tortoises in the nation. And that's going to be a good thing for us. And also FWC is really excited about our efforts to continue celebrating gopher tortoises and spreading the word about what interesting creatures they are, and what as a keystone species, they provide refuge and shelter for about 350 other animals of all different types. So it's really important that we know as much as we can about gopher tortoises, because they're really going to help us save Split Oak. And one other quick thing, just on general volunteering, we are submitting an application to Orange County for Friends of Split Oak to adopt the park, which basically means we would have to do a little bit of volunteering quarterly, and a sign would go up that says that Friends of Split Oak have adopted Split Oak Forest. So we might want to combine the gopher tortoise planning and the adopt a park volunteer groups, just to make it easier for the volunteer groups to coordinate. So that's kind of what I've been working on, some of those things behind the scenes. If anybody would like to get a hold of me, Val, you can give out my email address, KimberlyBukite@gmail.com, or just post something in the Facebook page on the Facebook group page, and I generally see that stuff, or we can message there. I don't know what the best way to communicate is, but certainly anyone could communicate with me directly if they'd like to.
What's entailed in the adoption, Kim?
Yeah, it's basically just a commitment to a certain number of volunteer hours per quarter, and it's pretty light. It's like
trash pickup, or?
Yeah, we would have to work that out. Right now, Orange County's been doing the trash pickup based on their Moss Park maintenance crew. And I would rather that we are in touch with FWC about maybe some little projects we can do, maybe some removal of invasive exotics or help maintaining the trails or things like that that might be a little bit more meaningful. But basically, anytime we hike, if we pick up trash, we can log our hours, and that will probably give us enough credits just with the regular hikers that usually pick up. I know Mary and Junior, they carry trash bags
Yeah.
every time they hike anyways. So we can just do a little better at documenting our contributions to that sort of thing. I think it'll be pretty easy to cover.
Cool.
Okay, so Kim, you're looking for maybe some help in planning Go for Tortoise Day this year. So it's basically you, Mary.
Yeah, in the past, there's been, Dave's helped and Natalie and Ariel, and I'm just rattling off names here. The Sorbos, our friends with Native Plant Society, our other partners with League of Women Voters and the Native Plant Society, the local groups. Trying to think of who else. Osceola Mom. So
Swamp
anybody?
Girls.
Sorry? Oh, Swamp
Girls.
Adventures. Yeah, with Kim Titterington and her family, and the mayor of Go for Tortoise Day is Sheldon, an actual gopher tortoise who's in captivity with Swamp Girl Adventures, and he's I'm sure he'll be involved again. I haven't got started getting the commitments yet, but anybody who wants to help with setting up, cleaning up, maybe guiding a little hike, or helping with a craft activity that we do. The last couple of years we've been limited in what we could do with COVID, so hopefully we'll have something a little bit more robust this year. We'll have to be nimble to adjust if we need to, but I would say 10 or 12 volunteers would be plenty.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim. And thank you so
Okay.
much for like really kicking that off years ago and keeping it going. Because
It's fun.
It is fun.
okay. So that's April. So we've got, a bunch of stuff happening January. FCT board meeting, which if you can possibly make it, and if you can't make it, then we can get you the call in, and definitely letters ahead of time. That would be great. And then the fun stuff, right? Go for Tortoise Day in April. We have an annual board meeting in May. We have not determined the date. The Spring Bio Blitz, May 6th through 8th. The Baja should be out of the shop, new shocks, new struts, and lifted, so you can load people in the back and haul around and get some good observations. So I will submit that permit as soon as I can. And I would also like some assistance in like a little ad hoc planning committee for that. I know I have one person. I don't remember her name, but she was very enthusiastic, and I can't wait to get started planning that. And then a spring fundraiser. So we have a anonymous donor who has stepped up for to offer a $2,000 match for anybody who donates between now and whenever we set that fundraiser up. So as you see that we have a lawyer, so we have legal fees, and we may have more legal fees in the future. So we definitely could use some money. So we'll have another fun fundraiser, alcohol, speeches, rah-rah, and I will document anybody who donates. If you'd like to, write a check, you can get with me, or we have the PayPal donate button, and I'll be tracking those as match. So if we can make it 2K by whenever that spring fundraiser is, maybe March-ish, I'm working with Mandy Morgan of Tarflower Chapter, Native Plant Society, to plan that. So please contact me if you'd like to volunteer for any of the ad hoc planning committees, or if you'd like to be on the board. I have any questions about what we're doing. And
I have a question or a
Yes.
comment.
Yes.
based on the last BioBlitz, which was really cool, and I don't know if you wanted to just mention how many species that have been logged out at Split Oak so far, if you even have a clue, but we had a group of people that were interested in maybe some night observations. So it's something that had not been done officially before is the overnighting at Split Oak, which technically is not
We can overnight.
allowed.
No, we can overnight. We just cannot sleep or
Okay.
camp. So we will be making late night observations and early morning observations. In fact, we will be observing throughout the night.
Okay, that's a good way of putting it.
Mhm.
So there might be some logistics involved in who is going to be out at night, if there's going to be anybody. And there was a small group that was already interested in that. So just kind of keep it in the back of your mind for the BioBlitz this spring, that would be kind of a new add-on, is to do those round the clock observations.
Yes. And so, like, for example, mothing, herping, if you have any interest or experience in those nighttime sorts of observations, there can be some interesting pollinator observations that happen. So if you have any interest in that and would like to plan outings or setups, sometimes you can set up lights in different ways to collect different insects. I would like to help you with that. We have some funds that we could expend on that sort of monitoring. So let me know what you're interested in. And I have Dawn down already. So thanks, Dawn. Dawn asks, is there a site people can donate online that I can connect to my videos? Yes. Yes, our friendsofsplitoak.org website, and there's a donate button at the bottom left. There's not a direct link to donate there. You have to go to the website and just scroll down. I should make that happen though. I don't have that set up yet. Right, Don. Don says, no falling asleep. No. All right, so this has been fun. This is our first ever virtual members meeting. And so I think we got a lot more participation than we did at last year's members meeting. And I don't know, what do you guys think about doing like a hybrid version next year?
What do you mean, in real time or?
So like we could meet somewhere with good internet, and then I could have like, a webcam with microphones set up, and anybody who
sure.
could come in person could come, but we could still have this live stream, which is a lot easier to manage than Zoom. So I'm sorry to everybody who's here on YouTube Live and not here in Zoom. They can't like pop in and say something, but I've had so many Zoom nightmares that I'm not willing to take the chance to just have a Zoom link out there for the world. But anyways, do you think that would be doable? Would people come if it was in person?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
think so.
All right, so I think we have a tentative date, October 8th, for our next members meeting. So I'll make a Facebook event for that. And keep everybody updated. Oh, Junior keeps asking about Florida Communities Trust email addresses. Sid, do we have all the contact info for everybody we want to blast when we start blasting? Sid.
Hey, Sid.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. My contact information is my first initial and last name, S. Bigham, at burgersingerman.com. That's BERGER Singerman.com. You can also look me up on the Florida Bar website by searching for Sydney Bigham in Tallahassee, SIDNEY, B as in boy, IGHAM. I'm happy to field any questions or other comments that might come out. I'm happy to help however I can.
Okay, so that's good, thank you. But we wanted the people who we want to blast with comments. Do we have all their emails yet?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And that is the board of the Florida Communities Trust. It can be found at the DEP website by looking up Florida Communities Trust. But the board members' names are all there, and I am happy to publicize a list through Valerie to make those more readily available to everybody.
Okay.
And in the meantime, of course, you can contact me if you have any questions about who to contact.
Okay, so we have like a splash page ready to go for the website. I still have to make the map for that. So once I'm ready to get that splash page going, we'll get everybody the email addresses and what options for what you can say to them.
Perfect.
And that's ongoing from this point forward, or from this point until February?
As soon as I have the map ready for the splash page.
Okay.
Sorry. I know I'm the pipeline here. If you know of any other people who are good at map making who could make it for me, that would be good. I just don't want to use the Central Florida Expressway Authority's, how to lie with maps map that makes the swap deal look really good. All green and pretty and stupid.
Technically, just to kind of maybe illuminate the issue a little bit, the agenda is not out yet for the February meeting, and the way Florida Communities Trust works, they generally don't issue those agenda until right up to down to the wire on their notice requirements, which is a week before. But we've been communicating so closely with FCT that there is a very high 99% likelihood that Split Oak is going to make that agenda for February 16th. And we've been a little bit coy, I suppose, about getting too much information out right now because we don't want the opposition to really know what our strategy is. So I think there'll be a lot more coming out on the Friends of Split Oak group page, the group site on Facebook, with calls to action about contacting various individuals as we get a little bit closer. So keep on your calendar, tickler, however you want to remind yourself, right around early in January into mid-January is when we'll probably be hitting the communications. And that'll be the sweet spot and getting closer to the actual meeting.
There is a, not 0% chance that, we could be so successful at generating pain in Tallahassee about this that, they take it off the agenda in February. I do not think that's a very high likelihood, but, we could, get all dressed up with nowhere to go. But it's better than not being dressed up and then have really, being SOL.
So the assumption is that February 16th is the dance where we need to be dressed up.
Right.
That's right. Everybody should be prepared for February 16th to be the date at which the Florida Communities Trust makes a final determination on this application, and the number of voices there may directly correlate to the likelihood of our success. So we appreciate everybody who is interested, and again, encourage anyone who is at all interested or even curious to just reach out. We'll be happy to provide them further information about that.
All right. Well, this has been fun. Do we have anything else we need to say to our members? The general public. Any members have anything to say there in the comments?
Well, I'll just know how to get audio next time. Felt a little foolish. I apologize. Kim, we need to get together and talk gopher tortoises.
Yes.
after
Definitely.
after the holidays.
Okay, well, I'll send out, you know what I'll do? I'll make an email blast to the people that have worked on it before, and then anybody that's interested that can, I'll put a little ask on the Facebook group for anybody who's interested in volunteering, and then I'll include them in the email blast, and we'll come up with a time we can meet out at Split Oak and chat about what we need to get in the works. It sounds like a lot of time, early April, but it goes by pretty fast, especially because we're going to have a lot to do in January and February on the advocacy efforts.
All right, so I hope everyone has enjoyed their break from manic Split Oak activity and be ready to get crazy again. That's what this is.
Always.
Yeah, and I don't think it was any accident that there was a lull. I think that lull was kind of intentional to, get us off our game a little bit. So I just don't think we're going to be tripped up by that.
We know how to rest. We're not going anywhere. All right, it was great seeing everybody. I hope I can make it to that hike. I didn't check my calendar yet, but have a wonderful Christmas, everyone.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Welcome to the board, Mary. Thank you for coming, Dave. Thank you, Kim.
Yes, thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kim and Valerie in particular, for leading the fight.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sid. Okay.
Good to see you, Dave.